This one's about communication. And choosing the healthy way to do that. Devil and Two of Swords. Somebody has a decision whether they want to speak, open a dialogue, or stifle themselves. And before I go any further, I just want to bring up, how many times now has Spirit put a thought in someone's head here? Has Spirit told them something in order to cause a domino effect in the community, a ripple that brings something to the surface? Sometimes the people that are saying these things that Spirit has communicated to them are affecting people that aren't at all involved, in order to create changes for that person, or to change their perspective, or to bring something else to the surface that needs to be dealt with. Every single time this happens, it's not just two people that are affected, it's all of us. And how many times have the results been Spirit's will, even when it looks like two people are opposed? And more than that, how many times in the past here has it not been a safe space? This is and should be a safe place to communicate with each other, not behind each other's backs. Because what Spirit chooses to communicate to us would only be communicated if there's something that they need to bring to the surface here. What Spirit told me was to address somebody that was holding on to their feelings and discussing them with other people instead of opening a dialogue, instead of bringing it to the surface, instead of dealing with it. They decided to be burdened and to discuss it with others. And there's a lot of situations where Spirit will not divulge information to me, where it's not my place to know. But for whatever reason, they wanted me to know that. They wanted me to say that I know that, in order for things to go down the way that they have here. And really just think about when the last time not expressing your feelings was the correct move. Because I'm not the type to go off. I'm not the type to have some kind of blood feud. If I need to distance myself, I will. If I need to say my piece, I will. Three of Pentacles, though. There is not a single person that I wouldn't give another chance if Spirit wanted me to. And there has been plenty of people that have made me feel some kind of way, and I have wanted to unfollow or block or any number of things. And Spirit's told me not to. And I've been glad that I did it, because we weren't done affecting each other. We weren't done mirroring for each other. We weren't done growing together. And even if Spirit does direct me to do those things, that doesn't mean it's permanent. That means that for the time being, that space is needed. And in almost every single case, when I have unfollowed or blocked or said my piece and walked away, Spirit has later on directed me back to that person to reassess, not to judge them, but to see if they move differently, if they learned anything, because I did. In every single situation, I learned. But if you come back to that same person months or weeks or years later, and they're still doing the same thing, and they haven't changed their problem that led to you needing to distance in the first place, if they're still on the same bullshit, then you gotta stay distanced. But that doesn't mean you don't have love for that person. There's people in this community that I've been watching for over a year. And even though we've never had a personal conversation, I've been there, and I consider them maybe the closest thing I've got to friends. Because the readers in this community have helped me through my darkest days. And my goal has always been to reinforce, not to tear apart. But that's a decision everybody has to make for themselves. If you truly believe what you've been saying, and you don't want to see me for who I am or my intentions, that's your decision. But I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to hear you out, even if I don't agree with you. And it's a conversation, a debate, not a clapback. And that doesn't mean we'll see eye to eye, and it doesn't mean we'll stick around or follow each other or anything like that. When passionate people discuss topics that have weight, it can get intense. But you have to be able to communicate those difficult conversations, or you hurt yourself. And that could be the point here. It brings me back to that theme that we've been dealing with for this entire 1.5 year period. Throat chakra. Don't block it yourself. Enough other people are out there trying to do that for you. Don't block it yourself. Progression and growth is the goal, and that comes from working on it, from dialogue, from mastering the discussion. Good or bad. And you know, we all only see what spirit guides us to see. And we've already discussed this before, that what spirit shows person 1 and what spirit shows person 2 might be different, and they might conflict. But sometimes that is in order for this to happen, for this conversation, this dialogue, this ripple effect. And sometimes it doesn't mean either person's wrong. What spirit wants out of these situations is growth. There is a reason why we are here right now having this talk, feeling this way. But you have to choose to step into the dialogue. You have to choose to speak. It doesn't have to be competition or ego or endings. It can just be trying to find stability when you don't feel like you have it with another person. The mental prison that has consistently been a problem here comes from a lack of communication and an inflexibility in the mind. Concepts that you don't want to adjust. We all need to be malleable, open-minded.